What's up? This is Rap Hits, and so the reason why Takeoff got caught lacking is because of a few things. So first of all, they were invited to a private party with the Rap A Lot crew, the Mob Ties crew. It sounds like it was the son of Jay Prince's birthday party, and they got invited there. They think they're good. That's who you got to check in with when you're in Texas is the Mob Ties. So they felt like they was with the right crew, to where you supposed to be good when you in their city as long as you checked in with them and you're personally invited to their party. You're not supposed to have to worry about security, and that's where they went wrong. That's where the Migos, Quavo, and Takeoff went wrong because they were at that time dependent on outside people outside of your own crew to protect you. You should never be in that position when you're a rap star. You gotta have your own protection. And that's the thing with a lot of rappers. They like to move around with their entourage instead of proper security. So Migos brought their guy, Migos bands, and a few others. So they thought they was good. They had their entourage, their crew. And they said, well, we're going to a hood party and we're going to be good. We with the mob figures, the mob type people. So they feel like, okay, at that point, they good and protected. That's all the security they going to need, they thinking. Because they connected with the right people and they got their crew for backup. So that's where things went wrong because you really, when you become a rapper, you got to really consider your security. You got to move like the president. So you should never really be in those parties without the proper security. But that's what rappers do all the time. They said Pac used to do that. They said, well, it looks like King Von. Most rappers do that. They like to go to the hood and just be with their crew as protection. That's how the streets move. That's how you move when you're in the streets. But they need to realize they're rappers, so you probably need a higher level of security at that point. So the reason why Takeoff got caught lacking is because of the mentality of thinking you good just by having your crew protecting you and your connections protecting you. That's street minded basically. That's a street minded mentality to think like that. You're not at full protection if you're thinking like that. First of all, you probably shouldn't be attending every party you're invited to anyways when you're at that level. You need to go put yourself somewhere and be cool and be safe. And if you're going to go into these hood house parties and these hood parties and stuff like that, this was like at a bowling alley or something that they rented out. But if you're going to hit those types of parties when you're a rapper and you're at superstar level, even if you're not at superstar level, you got to think about your security and your safety. And when you're checking in at the door like a normal person, if a normal person goes to a club, they're going to get checked at the door for their guns and stuff. You can't get into most parties with guns. So that's what they said this party was like, where basically they got there and they weren't allowed to bring their guns in. There was even an eyewitness who said that the only ones with guns was the mob figures. But it sounds, other people like academics, it sounds like he discovered it's possible that one of the Migos members was able to sneak a gun in. It sounds like they're saying this guy named Migo Bands, who was with Quavo and Takeoff, allegedly snuck his gun in. There's video footage and everything. I might leave a link in the comment section and description box, so check that out, or go to raphits1.com and get all the updates there. But basically, it sounds like one of the Migos member possibly snuck a gun in, and it sounds like the altercation happened outside of the bowling alley anyways. So with security, the security would have had them go straight to the car. They'd have the door open waiting for them once you exit the party, because they know that's the vulnerable area. Because when you're in the party, it's supposed to be secure. There's supposed to be security and everyone was checked for guns. But once you get outside the party, that's where the rapper would be vulnerable. So their mistake was they didn't, once they left those doors of that event, you got to headline straight to your vehicle. Ain't no lingering around and talking like a normal person. That's what normal people do. That's what people from the streets do outside of parties. The party's usually outside the bar or the club a lot of times. People will be gathering in the parking lots and playing their music and just chilling and hanging out. So That's what really happens in the streets at parties. So when you're a rapper, you can't do that no more. That's what when King Von, what happened to him, it was similar. He was outside of the party, and that's where it goes down. And the similarity also was that it was Boss Top's birthday. So this was another birthday party. So and once again, the key word is a party. And that's what seems to be taking a lot of our best rappers out now these days, is they keep on hanging out at these parties. And so what rappers need to do is take these events that happen with King Von and Takeoff and these other rappers like PNB Rock. What rappers need to do is take, and even anybody, what anybody should really do is take what happened to these guys, these individuals, and learn from it. We got to learn and strategize better now and move better, and let's limit the violence, because it starts with you and your decision making. You can't stop other people from what they doing. So what you got to do then, it looks like, is the rappers and anybody else that wants to move smart is going to have to pay attention to these situations and learn from it. So, like I said, so what we went over is basically when you get checked for your guns at the door, that's when you're vulnerable. Now you're dependent on the club security to protect you at that point if you don't have your personal security with you. And we got to remember what we covered in the video also was when you leave the club, you're vulnerable if you don't go straight to your car and get up out of there. That's where you're the most vulnerable, because at that point there's no security and people can have guns because you're now outside of the bar. So you can't check everybody in that area outside of the bar now, and there could be people with guns at that point, and you could be lacking if you didn't have your gun. If your gun's in your car at that point or something, you're vulnerable at that moment because you're not in the protection of any security really. So you got to keep it moving, get to your vehicle and get up out of there. So they caught Takeoff lacking. It's a lesson to be learned now for all you rappers out there, and really anybody can learn from this situation and make better decisions and move more strategically. So this has been Rap Hits. Look, go to raphits1.com. Links in the comment section and description box if you need more updates on the Migos situation. I got all the footage, all the updates on that, plus much more at Rap Hits. We got music videos, interviews, all types of stuff at raphits1.com. So links in the comment section and description box. I'm out.